So, more developments in this great controversy, this debate over the VAR decision that was, I suppose, not given yesterday as to this handball decision that should have gone for Rangers. Okay, let's just, before we go on to what's been said by the SFA, and when I read what the SFA have come out and said, this is what a Rangers spokesperson has reported that the SFA have said, you will start to question what the SFA have to hide, especially even given in relation to the policy taken by the English Premier League and the PGML, who are the organisation that run the referees down south of the border. So people say that it was offside. So the first thing to clear up is it was not offside. Two things to clear that up. Number one, if you go back a still from when that picture was taken, the picture that was put out is after the ball has already left John Lundstrom's foot. When the ball leaves Lundstrom's foot, Seema and I can't remember who else was in there, were not offside. In addition to that, the IFAB, which is the organisation that runs the rules of football, if you actually read the rules of the game, it is impossible for Seema to be offside as he makes no attempt to play the ball at that stage, and it is Johnson who plays the ball. So therefore, he cannot be offside. So that's the first thing to clear up. It was not offside. So the penalty should have stood, despite what some Celtic commentators are now trying to roll back on what they've said previously, that it was offside and it's not even a debate anymore. Yes, it is a debate. Okay, so the second thing is, Willie Collum came out and he said that, in his opinion, this was his statement that he made. Collum believed that Walsh had been correct just to give a goal kick because he felt the Celtic player's hand was in a natural position when it made contact with the ball after watching the replay back at Clydesdale House. Now, yes, we all make mistakes, but if you watch back the replay, there is no way that the motion that Alistair Johnston's arm took and hand took towards the ball was a natural playing motion. So that is obviously false as to what another reason that has been given as to why this was not a penalty. Therefore, this led to Rangers asking for the VAR audio to be released to them by the SFA. Now, down south in England, the English Premier League and the PGMOL, like I said, who run the referees, have a nothing to hide policy, so that when clubs request VAR audio, it is handed out, and even the press have access to said VAR audio. Witness the Liverpool-Tottenham game at the start of the season, where the goal was wrongly ruled out for offside. And obviously it came out through listening to the VAR audio that a huge mistake had been made, that Howard Webb came out and apologised for and recognised the mistake had been made. They didn't hide that footage. They didn't try and, cover it up in red tape. They just gave that footage out, even though that audio out, even though it proved that they had made a horrendous error. Now, this is what has come out today. This was taken from the Rangers Review. Thank you, Chris Jack. Credit the Rangers Review. I've credited it here. It said, despite repeated Rangers FC requests, the Scottish FA have failed to disclose the VAR audio to the club to understand the process around the non-award of a penalty in the first half of yesterday's Old Firm match. This is a Rangers spokesperson speaking, so it's a direct quote from Rangers. Rangers officials stand ready to meet in person or virtually with the Scottish FA at any time to hear and discuss the audio. However, the Scottish FA are refusing both to share the VAR audio and meet until at least Wednesday, 5 days after the Old Firm match, after the next round of Scottish Premiership fixtures. This is clearly unacceptable and heightens Rangers' concerns over a lack of transparency, for which the need is urgent. Now, what I am questioning here is not that the Scottish FA will not meet. What I am questioning is why it is taking them 5 days to agree to meet with Rangers, either virtually, I know the New Year period is currently in process, or in person to discuss the audio. There is nothing to stop someone somewhere pressing a button to send that audio clip to Rangers at any point, but they are refusing to do so. Why are they refusing to do so? That is the question I would love the SFA to answer. So what is the reason that they are not releasing the audio at this time? Right. the Rangers spokesperson then went on to say Rangers have learned no penalty was awarded as the VAR official Willie Collum concluded a handball offence had not occurred in the first half. While the club and most observers are astonished by this professional view, we remain perplexed and concerned about the Scottish FA's motivations for sharing an offside image with the broadcasters during the second half, when this was not the original reason why the penalty was not awarded. Now, as it's turned out, Seamer was not offside. It also does beg questions as to why it took them 30 minutes to then find this offside image and send it out, particularly as the judgment, which is here again, let's just re-clarify that judgment. The judgment says that Walsh had been correct because the Celtic player's hand was in a natural position when it made contact with the ball after watching the replay back, and correct to give a goal kick. So at no point during that justification of the decision does it mention an offside. At no point during that judgment there, when they talk about what Collum saw, does the offside even get mentioned? So why is it now that half an hour, 45 minutes, however long it was after the decision was taken, that offside image was then released? Which you, like I said, if you actually look at that image, the still that was released, it is after the ball has left his foot, not as the ball leaves his foot. A decision on an offside is taken as the player contacts the ball, not after the ball has left the player's foot. That is basic football rules. So why was there a delay? Why are they trying to come back? And also, like I said, Willie Collum never mentioned offside at any point, which then obviously begs two more questions. Number one, if it came off Johnston's hand and it was a natural position, it went out for a Rangers corner, not a goal kick. So why was a goal kick awarded? Second question it begs, if Rangers were offside, why was a free kick not awarded? And why was it the case that the game was restarted with a goal kick to Celtic? Lots of things do not add up in this situation. Why are the SFA afraid to come out and actually address this point straight away? Why has Nick Walsh not been held accountable for this decision and asked? And why has Willie Collum not been held accountable? For me, there is a simple answer to this issue. Number one is that post-game, that referees should be held accountable and referees should be made available to the media to be questioned about their decisions, so that key decisions, you can get the referee's interpretation on that decision. That for me would show a great deal of transparency and accountability. If a manager is held accountable post-game for his decisions, his substitutions, his team selections, if players are held accountable post-game in interviews for their decisions to shoot, their decisions not to pass, their decisions to do things in the game, then why does that same accountability not extend to referees? I understand in Scotland that there is a part-time nature to refereeing that is not there in England. It is full-time in England. I do think that is something else that the SFA need to address. But it does worry me greatly that there is no perceived transparency here, and there is a lack of clarity coming out of the SFA. It is something, in my opinion, that does need to be addressed. The SFA need to come out and talk to the media, talk to Rangers and state why is it that they are not willing to meet? Why is it that they have got so many different reasons for this not being a penalty swirling around, and it needs to be cleared up once and for all? Yes, it is too late for this game, but it is in terms of making sure and ensuring the VAR process for the rest of this season is clear, has a clarity to it, and there is a confidence from all clubs in the SPL, and I include Celtic in this, all clubs in the VAR process. At this moment in time, I would say that if you were to question the managers of all SPL clubs, there would be a complete lack of confidence in VAR and the ability of VAR to get decisions correct every time. Whether you would spoke to Philip Clement, to Brendan Rodgers, to Barry Robson, to Nick Montgomery, to Stephen Naismith, to Davy Martindale, whoever you talk to, I think that you would get the same answer if you ask them, are you confident in the VAR and the way that VAR is used in games? I honestly believe the answer would be no on that point. But it is a worrying development today that the SFA are not willing to meet for a good period of time until Wednesday at the very earliest to discuss any VAR audio, and they're not willing to release the VAR audio. Like I said, if this was England, if this was the English Premier League, that VAR audio would already be out in the public arena. The media would have access to it. The club would have access to it. It is that quick in England. Like I said, it is a basis of there is nothing to hide. Therefore, here you go in the English Premier League and in amongst the PGMOL, who run English refereeing. So why is the same not the case in Scotland? This is obviously feeding into the concerns of the fans, concerns of the club, and the concerns of the honesty of refereeing, which is not good for referees. It's not good for the Scottish game. It's something that does need to be addressed. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, if you can sub to the channel, please do so. And on the way out, I ask two things of you every single time. Number one, smash the like. And number two, always remember, never forget, we are the people.